I love to help you, but I also have a family to feed.
So one of the things, Urban, if you're getting full neuropsych testing done for $3,500, I'll send my patients to you because they'll gladly pay for the plane ticket on top of that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
5 to 9,000. So what we did in our practice, and I think it might be Mike Chamberlain, who is partnering with the local university and has students who are working on their doctorate, their psychology degree. One of our associate therapists who is working on hours to get her LCSW also happens to be a psychology graduate program working on her PsyD. And so her supervisor for her PsyD has offered to do lower cost neuropsych testing. It's still out of pocket for the patients, but we've been able to work out how to find resources in our community. Again, this is not one size fits all. We were lucky to find a child psychiatrist who wanted to work with us, knew us. So the way the story goes is that the psychiatrist who we had been paying a cut rate on their hourly rate to meet with us twice a month by him eventually left a program that she was working in. And I said, hey, would you like to come work with us a couple of days a week? And she was willing. And could she make more money in a private practice in Marin County, which is anything about the demographics of Marin County? There are plenty of people who are able to pay whatever they're charging. I'd love to work with you guys. This is the point, is you can't assume that you're going to recruit someone who is in a private practice to come work with you. Those folks like being independent. They don't mind doing the scheduling and the billing, and they value the integration and collaboration the same way the folks who we've hired do. My wife is a school counselor, and we hired a school counselor. The next person we hired was another school counselor.
I'm just trying to tell you what the struggles are from somebody on the other end of the country. A wonderful psychologist, very well trained, very good at what she does. And we've been friends, I want to say, since 2000. So we've been friends for 24 years. And she is very modest, $180 for an hour of therapy. So that's very modest for my neighborhood. It's 250 to 350 an hour around here. And she tells me she's struggling. And the part she's struggling in is that she says the other members of her practice don't want to be in the office anymore. They all want to work from home.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to be integrated. And so, yeah, if they got to do an IQ test, they'll come in to do that, but they'll be there for the hour and then they'll leave. And he said, it's just such a different dynamic because you're not collaborating. And then the other thing she says is, it is so difficult to get the doctors. I like to pick up the phone and say, Herb, I saw Johnny. You were right. He has more anxiety than he has ADHD. And she will tell me this. I know the guidelines are not to treat him with Strattera, but you and I know that we've had great success with 3 kids with this kind of picture with Strattera. So I would vote for you to use that versus a stimulant. I'm like, you know what? You've never led me wrong. We're going to go with that. If it doesn't work, we'll think about it. He says, the doctors won't pick up the phone. And so it's a shame because one, the relationships are very enjoyable and they smooth out the rough edges of all the other conflicts that happen in what is running a business that's more like a McDonald's than selling Ferraris. It's high volume. You're not prepared for the client because Johnny could come in with allergies or could come in with a fever or sprained ankle or this or that. It's a routine that we do in pediatrics. And so it's interesting to hear a perspective of how they feel like they're struggling. I have a question. You said you pivoted. What are,
Actually just point out one,
yes,
which is so much of what you just said. And I appreciate that my practice is really different from a lot of the practices out there, and very different from a practice that has anywhere north of 50% Medicaid. You'll be able to see more kids and take better care of kids if you have the right support. And that support looks very different depending on what availability you have in your community.